Kraken Up, the Carpies podcast, where we talk everything Carpies. Here's your host, Derek Carpoletti.
What's going on, everybody? Episode 5 of the Kraken Up podcast. I am your host, Derek Carpoletti, and we have another special guest, the G-Main hero, Ryan Ratzlaff. How you doing?
G-Main Pimp'n'. That's what I'm talking about, man. Hey, I've been pining to get on this show, and I've been wanting to text you like every time, like, Derek, can I maybe get on your podcast just maybe once, even if it's just for 5 minutes? Like, so I'm honored to be on this, and it's crazy, like, not actually, hosting the show. Now I'm going to be the guy getting interviewed. So this is awesome, but we got to do a little something first. Oh, thank you. I need to hydrate.
See,
it's good stuff.
See,
good
you're
stuff.
drinking energy drinks. I'm drinking post work drinks here.
Post work cocktails, beersies. Sorry, this stuff's just addicting, and I absolutely love it. I think I'm on number 4
For the day?
Yeah, I'm on 4 to yeah. I go hard, baby. I go hard. You know this.
Can you feel it in your teeth? They like feel the energy.
I can't even feel anything right now. I'm just numb.
From the waist down.
So from the waist down. Yeah. No, it's just good stuff, and I don't know. I enjoy it. Plus, the can looks just rad. So,
we have a different audience. So we have a lot of RC people that listen, as well as we have a lot of people in like the stock car, karting, and just general people that kind of follow the Carpies brand listen in. So a lot of the RC guys will know who you are, or at least know about you, or have heard the horror stories.
There's a few.
But some of the guys who don't know, guys and girls, I guess, will be inclusive, that don't know Ryan, he is one of our team drivers for the RC side of things. He's been on the team since Chili Bowl, joined us then. He's been a huge asset as far as some of the unique content, photos, videos, and one of the more notable ones was his video on his way to the RC Chili Bowl, where he had that Congo line of junkers going down the road.
I didn't even really think that was going to make any form of social media, but I could tell you that when I was heading down there and I sent that video to you, and then all of a sudden, because you're bored in the car, and I hate to say this, but yes, I'm trolling Instagram, and you put that in as a story, and I'm like, there was profanity in there. I was just having some fun with it, but that was I wouldn't say one of the highlights, but it was definitely a memorable moment for me.
So what was that? What was actually going on there?
So we were kind of daisy chained together, heading down with my buddy Tony and Jason, and you get into Missouri, and there's some weird things that happen there. And so we kept seeing like this really shitty car pulling like 3 other cars, and you're like, what the hell is that? And the first time you can't even react, you know what I mean? But you see it for the second or third time, and you're like, I can't even, how does the Department of Transportation allow this to happen? So when I saw it like the third time, I was like, I gotta get this on video. I don't care at all costs. Like I'm getting a video of this. So it was crazy. It was just like one crappy car towing like 2 or 3 other cars. I could not understand for the life of me how that's even feasible, but they were doing it.
What was ridiculous about it was I just threw it up there just as, I don't know, just we were out racing too, so I probably had a few drinks, and I threw it up there, and the next thing I know, I had like 3,000 views.
I'm always good for some questionable content. We've had some good stuff going back and forth.
One of the other good parts of everyone's trip down there was TJ Greer was sending me some like photos and stuff as he was going down, and one of them was like his speedometer was like 98 miles an hour or something.
Yeah.
And I shared it to the story and tagged the Indiana Police Department.
I hope TJ got a ticket because like, yeah, that's cool. Only you would do that.
So
But
you finally made it
yeah,
down there. It was your first
Yeah.
time going to the RC Chili Bowl. What
Yeah.
was that whole experience like?
It was nuts. It was absolutely nuts and very intimidating. I've only been in this hobby or sport for 2 years, Derek, and going down and having some the competition was unbelievable, and that was just the whole show that Scotty puts on is really incredible. So a bit intimidating at first, but we're all out there just playing with toy cars. So a lot of the people I met were very helpful, friendly. They all were. Anybody that was associated with the RC Chili Bowl, as far as working there or anything, they were very helpful. Just wanted to see everybody have a good time. So that was super cool. And just, honestly, like meeting TJ there, Kevin, really cemented some really cool, long lasting friendships, so, and even others that I met there. It was absolutely fantastic, but definitely intimidating. It's a big track. It's loose dirt. It was tricky and boy, I stunk. But I had a good time. I learned a ton, and that's really what I wanted to take away from that, and just have that experience, right, of hanging with you boys and just cracking on one another, and that I always talk about like the fellowship, right? That was the biggest thing for me that I wanted to experience and learn, and I sure did.
Yeah, and the thing with those big races, I mean, we've gone to a couple big races ourselves. None has had the entry count of that race, but some pretty prestigious races with a lot of big name guys. And the thing that is sometimes difficult in those weekends is to remember to have fun, because everybody goes there wanting to win, and or you wouldn't go to begin with if you didn't have some expectations. There's a chance. And when you get there and you're a tenth or two off, and that's a lot in oval racing, and you struggle and you can't get it, and it's multiple days long, and it just kind of beats you down. And sometimes you just forget that you're there. Usually you go with friends, or your friends are there, and I mean, only one person can win. So it's tough sometimes to have that mindset to just enjoy it for what it is.
Absolutely. But, again, it's a hobby, at the end of the day. And 99% of us aren't getting paid to do this. So you want to focus on, obviously improving. I think that's a big thing, but to the core, just have fun. It's like anything. It's like going playing around a golf with your buddies. You go out there to have fun, but also compete as well. And I think that the thing too that I think everybody needs to remember on big events like that, whether it be dirt oval, carpet, it doesn't matter, on road, off road. Learn from the fast guys. Try and hang with them. They're gonna make you faster just by default. And I think they respect that, especially when you run them clean. That's the biggest thing. Respect what they're out there doing, and they'll give you that tenfold when it comes to helping you with setup and so on and so forth. So, yes, it's intimidating to go to an event like that, but on the flip side, you can learn so much and gain friendships and respect from other drivers. And I think I did that, at least in my head, and I look great doing it. So
yeah. Well, that's what I always tell people that like endorse our brand, whether they're under the official capacity or not. We're not a performance brand, so we don't really care if you win or finish dead last, as long as you look good doing it. You're a good ambassador of the hobby. You're not standoffish or rude or just giving a bad representation in general. That's the key for us as far as how we want our brand represented. And I fall victim to that. I have a resting bitch face for sure. And when I'm not having a good day at the track, I'm probably not the most approachable person. But I try to make my rounds and talk to everybody, and whether they're a customer or not, check in, see how everyone's doing, even outside of racing. A lot of the times, a lot of the races we go to travel around, and it's a lot of the same guys, same cliques. So you get to know them outside of racing, and just being a good person and not being a dickhead. It's just the key.
Well, that's that's so true, and there's a lot of levels, to being, we'll call it sponsored. I don't like to look at it that way, but I like to refer to it as a brand ambassador. And there's a lot of layers to it. There's the social media stuff, which I really do suck at. I'm not the greatest at it, but what I can assure you of, and I think a lot of people will say this about me, is that I always try and be friendly. I want to get in with those guys, and I don't have the talent level, and that's what was intimidating for me too. Is being part of the Squid Squad was TJ Greer, Jeff, Kevin, great racers. I stink. I got there's a reason why I have the name G-Main. I'm working to improve that, but
I almost called you Z-Main.
Z-Main, no, I'm better than that, buddy. Come on now. But the thing of it is there are people at the track sometimes that maybe have a little less talent than me, or they're just kind of hanging out, looking around. Like, we were at the Dirt Oval Nationals at Trackside in Brookfield recently. I finished 4th there and qualified for the A-Main, by the way. So yeah, homie's moving up, but there was a guy, and again, there's racers up there. I mean, the Max Floors of the world, and he's definitely an approachable and very nice guy. I'm not speaking ill of anyone that was there, but there's a guy hanging out. I was like, "What's up, man? You racing?" And he goes, "No, I'm just trying to get into this, and I'm gonna run Slash and all this stuff." And I'm like, "You're gonna run here?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna run on the backtrack." And so we started talking, and I said, "You got your car here? Like, let's go work on it. Let's throw some setup in it that works for me. No guarantees, but at least it'll be close." And so we were done with the qualifiers, and I'm wrenching on his car, and I was like, "So who are you getting a body from?" And he goes, "Oh, I bought one from Shark." Oh, I was like, "Okay, what are you going to do for a wrap?" And he's like, "A wrap?" I was like, "Yeah, look at this. Check this out." And he goes, "Oh, who did it?" And I was like, "Carpies," and wound up getting a wrap from you guys. And,
nice.
It's just that kind of stuff. It, for me, is getting people into the hobby, helping them, because there are a lot of people that helped me when I first got into it. You always want to just continue to pay it forward and just be a good ambassador of those companies that help you, right? And even if they don't help you, if you've got something you believe in, and people that you genuinely like, and I don't mean to genuflect, but I really enjoy interacting and doing business with you guys on so many levels, and we could talk about it for about an hour, but I'm gonna always support the people that I like genuinely and truly love doing business with. I mean, it's like when you buy a new car and you've had a good experience, right? Well, you just spent $50,000, but you did it with a smile, right? And that's the kind of same thing I get with dealing with you guys. So, whether it be I be part of the Squid Squad or not, like, I'm always going to show that love and always, promote that. So, but yeah, you got to be good off the track, right?
Right.
You've got to show that, and that I think it goes a long way. And there's a lot of people out there that are like that, and I've witnessed that firsthand. So, very important.
And I don't know if you want to get into it, but you mentioned brand ambassador and another keyword of sponsorship. I guess we can just address it. So we fell victim to that game over the last few years of, I guess. So if someone orders a lot of stuff and then they want like a sponsorship or like a reoccurring discount, and we fell victim to it, as I'm sure a lot of other brands in the hobby have, of where you give out those codes to everybody that asks, essentially. Not because I don't know the right way to say it. Not because you feel obligated to, but like, yeah, they've been a customer for 4 years, and they spent decent money. So you feel obligated to give them something additional. And then you have a sponsor list of 800 codes you have to keep track of. And, and, and then you get some people who have never ordered and they email wanting a discount code, and you feel like you almost have to give it to them because if not, they're just not going to buy anything. And you get caught in that whole like entanglement of, I don't even mind giving a discount code, right? But yeah, just everybody has a discount at this point, and what's the value of the team or community if everybody has one, whether they bought one thing or 500 things? So we took a different approach. I don't know if it's conventional or not, but we scrapped everyone at the end of the year and started fresh, starting with like core guys that we've worked with over the years that have done a good job representing us, outside of just, I got a new wrap and posted a picture of it. So like yourself, TJ, Kevin, Jeff, my father there, he does a tremendous work with the social media stuff. But we wanted the guys who genuinely want to be a part of it and have like a good social media presence. At the end of the day, it's a hobby. I don't expect like to make that their job, but you guys put a decent effort into promoting it outside of like those things. And you guys, like you mentioned at the tracks, like you guys are all personable people. You help, you give advice. I think to me, those things go further than giving out discounts. Like you mentioned, you helped that guy get his car set up and he ended up ordering a wrap. He'll most likely be a longer time customer due to your interaction and us delivering him a good product than me giving him a 10% code on his first order, because he's probably only going to use it once or twice and never again.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up. So I'm not big time. I'm again G-Main for a reason. The thing of it is I, being a team driver, I have a discount code. I don't even know what it is. I honestly, I don't think I use it. I just use the free shipping that everybody does, and here's why. It's a product I believe in. It's people I believe in. And for me, this is a hobby. This is not my full-time gig. I got a day job. And the support that I've been given, the designs that Evan comes up with, the response to questions I have, or, if I want to change something in the design process, the quick responses I get, and the fact that I can go online, order something, and within a reasonable amount of time, depending on how busy and backlogged Evan is, 5 to 7 days, I'm getting a proof back. You guys make it so easy to interact and transact with that. That's what I believe in. And that's what I want people to latch on to. So for me, it's a hobby. I realize that it's going to cost money. I just bought a new X-ray chassis, $450. Okay, whatever. I made that conscious decision to buy that, right? So I don't need anybody else to really support me in that. I don't need handouts. If I can't afford something, I'm not going to buy it. It's that simple. I'm not going to go into debt for my hobby. So while I'm appreciative of that discount, I don't want to use it. I just want to continue to promote the people that I enjoy doing business with, and something I believe in. I look at, your business, it's pretty much a family-owned business, and you've got people that you're supporting too, like Evan, never done me wrong, Mo, hardworking dude. I know there's so many other people that I'm going to forget. You're supporting them in their livelihood. That means a lot to me. So I want to help that as much as I can. And you've got margins and all that stuff that to keep the business going, and you guys are working your butts off, and I know you're busier than all get up. That's great. I don't want to take anything away from you, what is, I don't even know what the discount is. I'm going to be completely honest here. It doesn't matter to me. If I can't afford a wrap, I'm not going to get it from you, bud. I'm going to hold off for a month. I'll keep, bouncing my car off the wall and, but it's about that. So I'm not big on that side of it. I don't see the need for it. I don't need the discount. I know it happens in our industry, and a lot of those guys do that. Like, hey, you get 30% off or 20% off, that, whether it be a chassis manufacturer or whatever. That's cool. That's not my bag. I think it does keep, racers loyal then to that brand. But I think you see, like, I know Dustin from GFRP, and his team drivers, I think they're really expected to be really good stewards of the hobby at the track. I've never met TJ Greer. He's a GFRP driver. He's one of the most approachable dudes you'll ever meet, and he'll give you as much help as he needs to. So I get all sides of it. It's just me personally, like, I'll be a brand ambassador for as long as you want. Even if my name's not on that list, I'm going to do it. And discount or not, it's not important to me. What's important is see your business grow. You guys continue to do the kick-ass stuff that you do, and put a smile on my face. Take my money with a smile. That's how I look at it. Genuinely, how I look at it. So, it goes on in the hobby. There's, I get it. They want to keep going with that, but I don't necessarily see the need for it. I mean, if you can't afford this, then work up to it, or maybe buy a used car. I've seen guys out there with 5-6-year-old chassis whipping butt. You don't always have to have the newest, latest, and greatest. So it, I don't know. It's a touchy subject for me because I'm just different. I'm wound different. I don't ask for handouts, and it's just different. So.
And we've implemented.
I didn't really answer the question, Derek, but I'm just giving you my perspective on it.
We've even implemented it outside of RC. We did it with our karting and our stock car stuff too, as well as events. So we'll obviously get walk-ins with people who want us to donate to this event or that event, and to an extent you have to for the community outreach. But I mean, we've cut a lot of that out, mainly because the same people ask for it every year, and we never see them come order t-shirts ever. And we also don't see any kickback from the events, and those things are so hard to see like an ROI on, as where we can work with people like you guys, and I can see like engagement coming in, the names that interact on your comments, and then I see them in sales. Even if they don't use a code, I can see those things translating, as well as like internet marketing. I can see how many clicks, I can see how many sales came from an advertisement. So we kind of transferred away from a lot of the traditional like local advertising, and then with our stock car stuff, we kind of took the same RC Squid Squad platform and transitioned it to that. So we have a young kid that races karts, Anthony. He was on the last episode. We brought him on. He's done a phenomenal job, and that's a market. Our local racing is dirt oval karts. We've grown considerably in that, and that's kind of spreading nationally, similar to how the same platform as the RC stuff did. A little slower due to we don't race them, so we don't have that intertie-in like we did with RC, but it's spread over time, and every year we double our cart wrap sales from the year before, so that's clearly getting out there, and then we're shipping them all over the country. And then we have we just re-upped with a guy we sponsored last year, Chad Colley. He runs sprint cars out in Michigan, I believe. So we just re-upped with that, so we'll be wrapping that one. And those are two markets. So Anthony runs like on-road karts. So he goes to like Daytona and Charlotte, and they run like the road course type stuff. And we don't have any business in that. So he's kind of the pioneer in pushing us in those markets. Like we do racing, but it's typically dirt stuff. So it's kind of exciting
more
to
local.
get into that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and it's so cool because when you partner up and again, you're a business owner. You have to see that, right? I understand that aspect of business. Everything needs an ROI applied to it, right? Um, and it's not about getting rich on that, but you want to see
Right.
growth. You
Yeah.
want the company to grow. You always want to employ more people. I get all of that.
Mhm.
And the thing is like, I think you guys have done a fantastic job of partnering with the right people.
Yep.
That young man racing karts. I watched that. That was a great interview. He's a well-rounded kid.
Yeah.
And is going to do great things. That's the kind of ambassador that you want. So it's cool. And Carpies has done a lot with RC Underground Radio to support that show.
Yep.
And it's been phenomenal. And I like, you see hoodies, people wearing them at local tracks and even out, I'm like, wow, that's so rad. It's neat because it's twofold, right? It's something that I'm passionate about both things, and to see that in one and somebody actually rocking that gear is to me fantastic. And then, supporting the show has given us a lot too. So I think you guys are right on as far as we'll call it your sponsorships and how you're structuring them, because it's not opening everything up,
Right.
but it's really focusing on helping grow your business and with good partners,
Right.
with good people.
Yep.
And it's awesome. And I love seeing all the new posts and all the cool new stuff that you guys are doing, it's neat.
Yeah. We're actually, I think the next hire we're going to do, we have a trade, high school like trade program called BOCES in our area, and they have a video technology class. And usually the graphic design class, they send like a senior every summer come do an internship with us, and they help with some graphics here and there and just kind of learn how the world works in like a job in that field. Yeah. But we might be taking on a video audio student to do our social media stuff for the summer. Is kind of one, it'll give them a chance to get in the field and do that in real time, as well as give us a feel, whereas if that could be beneficial, because that's a hard hire, because it's like, Mo, I can see he printed this many wraps today. I can see the value in what he did. But with a social media person, sometimes that's hard to really gauge, to know if that's worth a consistent payroll. I know it is probably just in the time I won't have to invest into it, and I can do other things. But at the end of the day, it's hard to. It's a new thing. I mean, a lot of companies don't have those, especially small businesses. So it's kind of hard to.
Well, I think it's rad that you guys are putting somebody to work.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that, and especially a young high school student, looking for a career in that, to start out with. Again, an awesome organization, I think, is very cool. And the fact that you guys are doing that. And I'll say this about social media and Carpies. There isn't a day that goes by that there isn't 3 or 4 posts. And I love that part of it. And, because I get inspiration from seeing different wraps, and I'm like, oh, I want that. The social media is phenomenal, and it will take some off your plate, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
I think it's well deserved.
Yeah.
And the best thing about, somebody like that coming in is they want to learn. So it's your opportunity to teach them and mold them. Because you guys have done such a good job at it. And whether or not they stick around with you, that's one thing that's neither here nor there. You're helping impact that person's future or career. So that's a cool thing.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like I said, we've had a couple interns in the graphic side, and some of them have come to work for us and do now. And some have moved on to, like, they went to college after that summer, and now they're like full blown in a couple of years into their graphic design program, and we still keep in touch. And, you never know, they could end up coming back down the road and
absolutely,
better than they were to begin with. So it's exciting.
For sure.
But you did mention
it's just growing the business.
Yeah. And you mentioned the RC Underground. That's a podcast you and Dave do. Strictly RC. I've been on that podcast twice now. My first one, I think, was about a year and a half ago, and then we did one a couple months ago. It's pretty cool podcast. So I've struggled to find a good RC podcast for years. I think the first one I got into, there was one called Radio Impound with Gotti and Jason Rona from J Concepts. I've listened to that for 6-8 years. The thing I didn't care for, it's a good podcast, but the thing that always deterred me from it was it wasn't consistent. It wasn't a weekly podcast. It was kind of drop whenever, kind of like this one. And it was an off-road podcast, and I'm just not interested in off-road. But I would listen to it just because I like RC. It's still like to hear what they're talking about. And it's just interesting in general. But the cool thing with the RC Underground is it's weekly. It's the same time every week. You have different guests. I didn't get to listen to the last couple, but I saw there was a rock crawling one. There was a drifting one. So it's not just oval, as well as you've had some big names. You had Justin Haley was on a few weeks ago. You had Murph Dog. And you had some real losers like Derek Carpoletti on there.
Come on. I'm the biggest loser. I'm on that show all the time. It's crazy how that all started. So Dave and I worked together, and we got hooked up on these goofy little 1RC cars.
Yeah.
And we just talk about it. And it's like, oh crap, we just burned an hour of company time talking about RC cars. And Dave had this idea. He's like, why don't we just like do a podcast? I'm like, really, dude? And I was a little nervous about it, but I'm like, screw it. What's the worst that can happen?
Mm-hmm.
So, originally it really kind of was just us talking about 1RC because it was like we were super passionate about it. But I think like with all things, especially with RC, you start out in something small and then you just kind of grow and grow and grow. And that's really how it's morphed. It's one thing to talk about 1RC all the time, but that gets, I don't know, quite frankly, it gets a little boring. Right. Not only for our listeners, but for us. There's only so much you can talk about. But as you get into and understand, you hang out at a hobby shop for half an hour and you see crawler guys come in, basher guys, drifting guys, and you're like, whoa, that's a cool rig. That dude really knows what he's doing. It's more stuff to talk about, and there's some really good shepherds of the sport and just RC in general. Matt Murphy's one of them, who's raced pretty much everything. There's just a lot of cool people that are in RC that you'd be like, really? What? Justin Haley, NASCAR driver, dude's like an absolute, he's a slash whiz, by the way. I don't think there's really anybody that can beat him in a slash, but there's so many cool people out there. And I always look at it as let's bring all that together. So for me, it's talking everything, off-road, on-road, whatever. We want to talk about it and just really try and grow the hobby, something that, Dave and I are very passionate about. It's been a lot of fun, and we've met some super cool people through the podcast. And, I really enjoy it. It's a cool platform. Aiden Ridgway, an awesome off-road racer, having him on the show and his little brothers and sisters coming in, and it's just fun stuff like that. I love seeing that. And I love giving those people like Bella, Miss Bella. She was on, a young female racer, and she's extremely talented. Just watching them and then following them on social media and seeing them progress. And, it's a lot of fun. And I just very much enjoy some of the friendships that I've made through the podcast. And, I got to give a lot of credit to Dave, because he's the guy that does all the editing, all the promotion. I'm just a talent. No, but
no, he knows his stuff.
It's a cool platform. Yeah, he's good. He's good.
When I the reason I got into this was my buddy Earl. He works for me now. We talk NASCAR every day at work for about an hour and a half. And I'm like,
Yeah.
why don't we just do a podcast? And he's like, I've always wanted to do a podcast. I'm like, well, fuck it. I'll just buy the stuff on the company card and I'll do a Carpies
Yeah.
podcast to justify it. And
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
we
You're
did.
right. So
So,
we're doing this now just to subsidize, or basically we're able to then explain to the government why you're doing
right.
your paying.
Yeah.
Okay. I got it.
This
I
is
got
a
it.
write-off
If,
podcast. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. If I ever get a call, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. And I've listened to that podcast and I enjoy it.
It's
Probably
a
one of
shit
the
show.
best intros ever.
Oh,
No, the intro alone is worth the time to listen. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, I don't even really follow NASCAR that much, but I'm going to listen. I love that one.
And but yeah, Dave, I mentioned to him when we were talking about our partnership as the title sponsor in the RC Underground, that I was interested in doing it, and he gave me so much information I couldn't even wrap my mind around. He's giving me analytics and settings, and I'm like, that's awesome. I'm gonna try to remember that, and I'll try not to embarrass you too much when I give you credit for it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to that,
Yeah,
and setting
really
everything
is.
up, and he's a whiz with it, and I know he spends a lot of time.
Yeah,
And I've been pulled away recently, just life, right,
Mhm.
family, and all that stuff. Kind of, so there's a lot of episodes he's been doing on his own. I'm ready to get engaged again and back into it, but yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I'm going to take this opportunity again to thank you and the entire Carpies organization for coming on and being that title sponsor, because it's allowed us to do a lot for the sport and sponsor a lot of young drivers, as well as events. It's been awesome. We got young Dominic Walecki, who's a driver for us for RC Underground Radio.
Yep.
He's a great young man. I think his rap is going to be coming soon. I know you guys are got some stuff working on that. And, so we just love to give back and really support some of the great things that you see in this hobby. And that's, father-son relationships, father-daughter relationships, however, mother-son, it doesn't matter. We just love seeing that in good people around the track. We want to grow the hobby, and I'm hoping, my hope is that the RC Underground Radio really supports that.
Yeah, and I would say it definitely has. I mean, I've paid attention to it since I've gotten to know you guys more. I've paid attention to it, and I've definitely seen it everywhere. I mean, like you said, the apparel, people add it. A lot of people add it to their wraps, and I don't even think they all are in your like regional area. I've seen it on at least 1 or 2 wraps a week. I see the logo on there, so there's definitely people outside of your normal jurisdiction that are listening and obviously appreciate what you guys do to be putting your logo on their wraps. And then Dave does an incredible job. I mean, it comes across as a super professional podcast, the way it's branded, the way that you guys promote things, his engagement on everything. Any share I see people do of the show, he comments on it and shows that he appreciates it, and definitely puts a lot of effort into it. As somebody who does more social media than I care to admit, it definitely puts in the work. That's for sure.
Yeah. Again, all credit to him. I mean, he's really the guy doing it, and putting all that time in. But it's just a super cool platform, and some of the people that we've met through that. I'm going to bring up my good friend, brother Ron Peacock. We did his story, and there's been some really heartfelt moments on the show, and so it's. I think in the end, it's always about the deeper things, right? And it's about the little toy cars that we play with that bring us together, and that's always been kind of the message. And it's cool to talk and hang with your buddies. Like I say, we made some awesome friendships from it, and it's so cool to hear that people are putting our logo on their wraps. How incredibly humbling is that? So whoever you are, thank you. It's we don't do this to get rich or for the fame or anything like that. It's just we want to see it grow. It's something we're super passionate about. So that's just amazing still to hear. So
Yeah, I saw some of them printing, and I had to go look at the shipping receipt to see where it was going. I'm like, this isn't going to Wisconsin.
Yeah. Well, hey, we're coast to coast, baby. That's
So,
cool to hear, though. That's super
RC
cool.
Underground, Dave has a track, and you guys are putting on a big race. What is the Foam Tire Nationals?
Foam Tire Nationals. I know, it's crazy. So
next month, right? 17th, 18th?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And guess you're going to be there, right?
I'm hoping to be there. I have the car ready.
Oh,
It's a work schedule, so I'll know probably a week and a half ahead of time. And if I can make it,
I got some great taco. I got great taco joints, buddy. I got it like all laid out, picked out. Like I have an entire itinerary for us.
Well,
and
I will say, I did dust off the 1RC car on a last minute entry at the race we went to in Ohio a couple months ago.
Yeah,
and I took it home. So
yeah, I know. I
got her all
pretty much
all
a
cleaned
ringer.
up, ready to come down there.
Well, let's hope you can make it. But this race really started. So we were trying to, Dave has a track in his basement, RC Underground, and it really just started with a bunch of us nerdy guys getting together and racing on some foam. And it just kind of morphed. Again, another great thing of Dave, right? He just had this vision and put this whole track together. I mean, pit area, the whole 9 yards. And we always had such a good time doing it. And obviously, you want to lure people in to the track, right? Get more people. Dave doesn't charge a dime.
Yeah, that's crazy
for racing. Yeah, but that it just goes to show his passion for it, right? He loves promoting that stuff. So in talking, we were talking with Matt Murphy, and Murphy goes, "Listen, guys, I'll be there. Like, I'll come to your track if you're supporting something." Like, and so it kind of hit Dave, and he just started working on it and thinking, okay, how can we do something for charity? So this race, I think we've got 22 or so drivers signed up right now. Yes, there's a fee to get in, but all of those proceeds, every single one of them, are going to go to a charity of choice for the winner.
Yeah.
So it's super rad in my opinion. I think we're going to have quite a few more drivers sign up, even days before the race, but it's really cool. And we got guys coming from coast to coast. We got Austin Wentworth from 1RC Garage coming out. Hopefully yourself. We got guys from Illinois, Iowa. Like it's going to be insane. And I'm just absolutely looking forward to having that race, hanging out with some good friends, from across the country, and eating lots of tacos, drinking lots of beer, and just hanging out, like forget the racing. I mean, we're going to do something great well, I mean, that's just a small part of it.
Right.
It's all that fellowship, and then getting to go donate some money to charity, which is so rad. And I commend Matt Murphy for kind of kicking us that way. But it makes perfect sense. This isn't Dave's basement. There isn't he doesn't have this massive overhead. I mean, you got to figure too, this guy's built all this stuff on his own dime.
Right.
But no, it's going to be a great race. He's doing a hell of a job promoting it. And we just got more and more people signing up all the time. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Like I said, May is like the busiest time of year for us, May and June.
I bet.
So I just can't guarantee it. You never know what kind of curveball you get. Our business is, I need it yesterday, so it's tough. But I have everything ready, and my plan is, if I can, usually we schedule everything out about a week and a half ahead of time, so I'll know for sure in like a 2-week range. If I can make it, I'm just going to overnight my stuff to your house and catch a plane out there and show up, dominate, and go home.
Dominate, eat some tacos, drink some ice cold beer, and go home. Hey, that'd be cool. And I get it. And if you need me to prepare a permission slip for the boss, the real boss, we can make that happen. Like I can draft something up.
That's the thing. She, if I'm gonna go, she's gonna go. I don't know if you saw last
right.
week, but she got her first heat
Mhm.
race win.
I know. That woman is gonna kick some ass if she comes. Like,
Yeah.
dude, just leave her at home because I don't want to get waxed by your wife.
That'll make a rough episode for RC Underground.
Yeah, right. Damn it, I got my ass kicked again.
She goes by Og
that
Dog.
it's gonna be a fun race. Og Dog,
Yeah.
I like that.
That's her race name.
Yeah, you're D Rick. I'll never forget that. In fact, that's what I have you in my phone as. Do you remember that? You ordered some drink. You guys were at a race, and I think Jeff posted it.
Oh,
Like they wrote the name on your coffee. It was D Rick. So that's honest to God, that's how you're in my phone as.
I hate that.
I don't even know how to spell your name.
He thought that was the funniest thing, and I was like, I don't get it. And the whole weekend, people just kept coming up and like, "Hey, D-Rex." He's like, "See, it's sticking." And I'm like, God.
Yeah. Yeah, you're in my phone. You're D Rick. I don't even know how to spell Derek. It's just D Rick now.
Yeah, I don't either.
But no, it'd be cool. It'd be cool if you guys can make it out there. I mean, obviously, and the biggest thing is too is like I just want to give you guys just like the biggest hug in the world too. Like, again, and it's true. Like, just supporting me, in getting me what I want. It's so crazy though. Again, you guys know I'm a BB in a boxcar. So, getting back to the I want it now thing. Wraps. Okay, I'm gonna just speak to the wraps part of it because this is one thing that like geeks me out every time I see it. Is like, hey, I just ordered a wrap from Carpies. When am I getting it?
Yeah,
I'm here to publicly say to everyone, relax, breathe. I know we're in a get it now world, and I struggled with it the first time I ordered a wrap. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm gonna give you my ideas. I'm gonna put it down. I'm gonna type it in, and then I'm gonna pay you. And then like 5 days later, I'm gonna get a proof of what I want.
Yep.
And then from there, it goes into print, and then it has to ship. So it takes some time. Here's the deal, folks. Relax, breathe, mellow out, find something else to do for a couple of days. I promise you that within 5 days, there's a lot of stuff in the queue. Within 5 days, you get that awesome proof. And then it's just like, yeah, go ahead, add to cart, and let's roll, baby. There's a lot of other stuff out there that, you'd be waiting a hell of a lot longer.
Yeah.
Other manufacturers. So I always encourage everyone, anytime I'm talking about, the process, allow it to take place. You get an order confirmation right away, and that's your proof. It's in the queue. You got to give Evan time to come up with all this stuff because, as he talked about, there's a lot of stuff he's got to make changes for, and this and that and the third. So just be patient. Anyway, that's my rant about that because I see that sometimes on social media. And I'm not one to start anything with anyone, but it's like, my man, like, just breathe a little bit. It's okay. It'll be okay. You're going to get your wrap, and it's going to be badass when you get it. So, take a step back,
That's one of the reasons Audra's our public filter. So we'll get those phone calls and emails all the time. And I'll be like, she'll be like, so-and-so said this. I'm like, yeah, well, you can tell him. And then they go on a tangent. And then she types this nice email.
Yeah, she is very sweet when it comes to questions or complaints. I've never complained, I don't think. But no, that's a good thing you have her doing that.
But a testament to our timeline. So we never claim to be the fastest. We never claim to be the cheapest. Our goal is to be the most consistent. So I've heard a million times, and this is why we developed this, and it's crazy that no one's copied it yet. We built a website. Our original problem, and I think the problem with a lot of other ones is they all run off like a messenger system. So they'll get 20 messages a day. I want this wrap. Now you got to factor in 20 to 30% of them aren't really serious about it. So they're just kind of wasting your time. Then you get those messages daily. Plus you have the orders you're kind of already going through. And it just becomes a mess. And then you get those horror stories of, I waited 3 months. I never even got my wrap. So we went through and we developed a platform on our website. Try to make it as simple to use as possible. We built a timeline. We We picked a timeline that we thought is realistic to do. And our goal is to stay on that timeline every time. So the thing that Evan will typically be, by the end of the week, 2 to 3 days ahead of the timeline. This is where it kind of fluctuates, and this is why it's a 5 to 7 business day timeline. Is he doesn't work, we don't work on weekends, so it's 5 business days, but Saturday, Sunday, Monday is 3 days worth of work that backs up on him. So he digs himself out of the hole, and then it comes back. So if he works 7 days a week, he'd probably be to the date. He'd be getting proofs the same day, but yeah, people have to have time off, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Evan's got a wedding to plan, so he can't be working weekends. And that's the thing too. You talk about like that messenger stuff and all that. Like, here's the thing. I'm gonna forget like what. So what that kind of format does is it forces the back and forth, and it just stretches everything out, right? So it takes away from design time, so on and so forth. The greatest thing about your website is here's the body I've got. Okay, cool. Here's what I want to have on it. Here's anything else additional that I need to add, and boom, add to cart, done.
Yep.
You've covered all of it right there, and you can add in images. Like I just did one for the shark alien and the shark UFO, and that's the greatest part of it. And then the thing is like when you start to repeat, like Evan's got your stuff on lock. He knows, you know. And it's so crazy because I'll just be, I'll just type a message, just do you, Evan, do it up, and he does, and comes back, and I'm like, yeah, okay, go, So, I know now here I am talking about you, so much, and here you were wanting to interview me, but, I just feel compelled as a brand ambassador and a guy who's had 4 Krakens today. To just talk about it because it is a cool process, and the creativity that the whole group has is just so awesome too. I've thrown stuff at you guys, and I think my SCB mod, I said do whatever you want. And it came back, and it was like, "Are you okay with this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay with it. Print that and get it in my mailbox." Like, that's the best part of it. And I know a lot of people, like a lot of racers, they want to have everything the same, and I was that way for a little while. But as a brand ambassador, I want to do something different every time so that people can just see the flavor.
Right.
Like when I'm at the track, hey, check the holy crap, that's cool, But I always want to look good, and you guys always do that for me. So we're mixing some stuff up here soon. Going to be rocking a couple cars that'll be a little bit different from what I normally do, but I'm just excited to kind of show that and show some more flavor. Nothing wrong with the guys that keep everything the same, but I suck as a racer, so I just want to look good, and that's my biggest thing. And here's the thing. I say in our little commercial all the time about Carpies, like they can't help you shave 2/10, but they really do. You guys really do, because when you see that badass looking car just hauling ass, people move for me, So
and I was kind of the same way. I had the same paint scheme for it was a paint scheme that it became a wrap scheme, but it was the same design for 8-9 years probably. And then I don't know, I just kind of got bored with it. I had the matching board, the light, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I just kind of got bored with it. And like you said, like we're a wrap company. I want to do some cool stuff. So, and then I did that one that had the rust look to it.
Yeah, that was badass.
Yep, we did some of the energy drink cars. We did that one for my dad that had the weird pattern all over it that kind of like hypnotic.
That one was sick. I was jealous of that one. I was super jealous of that one.
I try to do some concept stuff now when we do them, so it's more
that's
fun.
All, for me. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's like all I'm looking for is I don't give a shit if they all match. Like it's fine that guys that do that, but like I don't care. I'm half Polish, so it's like that's a big thing in Wisconsin. I hope I didn't offend anyone, but we just nothing matches. So, but yeah, it's just neat to see the creativity and, you know, just kind of throwing all caution to the wind and have you guys just do whatever. And, you know, I know this one I wanted to do, you know, these 2 cars that I've got coming, I wanted to do something a little different in my opinion, something that I thought was kind of a throwback, but still represented the brand. And I think it's going to turn out pretty slick. So everybody stay tuned on social media. It's going to get good.
So Ryan, I got one more thing before we wrap this up.
Okay.
All last month of March, we were running a promotion. Anyone who ordered a wrap of any value was entered in to win a wrap this month for free. We had 165 wraps ordered last month. So we had 165 entries for these wraps. I took ChatGPT and I said, give me a random number between 1 and 165. And it came out to be number 27. So I went through from
great number.
order 1, counted up to 27, and I have a winner. The winner of the free wrap here. Hold on, I actually might have a sound effect. If you watch our NASCAR podcast, you'll know this goes completely wrong most times.
Nailed it.
All right, our winner is Dale Tennant from Massachusetts. I can't say Massachusetts.
I gotta say it with a lisp. All right.
I forgot I couldn't say that, and I went into it with confidence too, and I still look stupid.
Hey, that's okay. We're human, right?
Yeah. The cool thing with Dale is I tried to do a little background on him, because a lot of the times a lot of our customers are repeat customers, and I was going to try to give you some stats and some of the things that he ordered or how much he's ordered. This is actually a first-time customer.
Ooh,
yeah.
All right. Now you got a customer for life with Dale.
Yeah. Hopefully, right?
Yeah.
So,
what kind of body did he wrap? The first one. Do you know that?
Yeah. So he ended up he got a Port Royal sprint car, the McAllister, as well as the Sipple Desperado.
Ooh, all right.
It's a little diverse.
Right. Yeah, but hey, that's awesome, man. Congratulations to you, Dale. You won't be disappointed. Have you already shipped his other wraps?
Yes, they have shipped. Yep.
Oh, if he's only got 2 cars, then he's got to buy a third.
Yeah.
You know, that's just how it works, right?
That's how you justify it. You get a free wrap, so you buy a $400 car.
Yeah, why not? Right? Add to cart, baby. Come on.
But so yeah, that's cool. So we'll reach out to Dale probably tomorrow morning with that. Get all formally now so he doesn't have to suffer through this whole podcast to find out.
Sorry I took so long and I talked so damn much, Dale, but congratulations to you, my friend.
So before we end, I want to pick your brain. We have done a couple of these contests before.
Just forewarning you.
We've done a couple of these contests before. We've done people who have ordered have been able to win free wraps. We've done pit boards, pit lights. We gave away a customer sprint car one time. What should we do next? What do you got? You got any creative ideas?
That, you know what? I worked hard for that sprint car and I didn't win it. I was slightly disappointed. I do remember that. You know, what could we do next? I'm thinking some gear. Like
gear?
Carpy's gear. Like, you know, I mean, sweatshirts, t-shirts, a hat, you know, kind of like a package.
The Ryan Ratzlaff package. Well, yeah, that sounds weird.
This hat, it's not weird. It's small, but not weird. This hat is fresh. I get a lot of compliments on this hat, which I love. Yeah. You know, I don't know. We could do something like that, or what if I lay down the gauntlet? What if we did some RC Underground radio gear?
I like that.
I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. You know, I'd be willing to dig deep in my pockets and pay for that. But I think that would be something kind of fun. Yeah. But I'm not creative. That's why I leave it up to you guys.
I'm sure my cars
would be all black. You know, if I didn't have car piece. So
I'm sure I'll wake up to a few few good ideas by morning.
Absolutely.
All right,
But I'm not
Ryan.
creative
Well,
like that.
I appreciate you coming on. There's some good insight and some good conversation on sponsorships, the process of how the wraps are ordered, how you embrace the hobby in general. And I think next time we'll have to get a little nutty.
Oh, you want to get nuts? Let's get
Yeah.
nuts.
All right.
I'm down for that, and maybe we can do it over. I can have a couple of wobble pops to wet my back throat, and we can certainly get a little loose. But no, man, it's been awesome. I genuinely appreciate you having me on here, and really just being part of the team. It means so much to me for being a G main type of talent to have a partnership with someone. But it's I genuinely mean this. I want you guys to grow. I love supporting you, and I love everybody that I interact with at Carpies. I mean, it's just it's been a blast, and so I just, again, grateful, and this was a lot of fun. And sorry for those of you who had to listen to me for 40 minutes ramble on before we figured out who the winner is, but that's just who I am. So
All right, man. Well, it's good talking to you. The check's in the mail for all the nice words, and we'll hopefully see you next month.
Absolutely, buddy. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Yep. Later.
Later.